guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to do this video today because planning out our baby's nursery is something that I looked forward to for years. Decorating, interior design type stuff is like one of my biggest passions in life, like maybe my biggest passion actually. Like a dream of mine would be to just like buy old houses and renovate them. I just absolutely love that stuff. But of course that's not really something you can do unless you have a lot of money to get it started, but maybe someday. But the point is, because it took us so long to get pregnant, it was just something that I have looked forward to for so long, and one of the first things that I was really like excited to jump into once we found out that we were pregnant. And we have already started on the nursery. In fact, it's pretty close to being done. We're sort of in like the final touches mode, but I wanted to go through kind of like my plans for the nursery, my inspiration for the nursery, just to kind of take you guys along on like the process that I went through when I was planning this out. I also did a blog post on this with pictures. I'll share some of the pictures in the video, but if you want to pin any of these pictures for your Pinterest boards, or I guess just see like a blog post format of everything that I'm talking about, I'll have the link to that below. Okay, so first let's talk about like, I guess my style when it comes to decorating a nursery and planning out a nursery. Obviously, this is all stuff that's super subjective, and if you go on Pinterest for any amount of time, you are just overwhelmed and bombarded with different styles of nurseries and kids' rooms and different directions that you can go. So I really wanted to kind of nail down like my style before I started like buying anything or you know, making any like big decisions. So I tried to narrow it down to kind of like 3 words or phrases that would describe what I wanted in this nursery. So the first thing was I wanted it to be playful. I've been seeing a lot of nurseries lately that are very formal and elegant, and they don't really appear to even be a kid's room or a nursery, with the exception of the fact that there's a crib in it. I've seen a lot of people say, you know, I want our nursery to just feel like an extension of our home, which I totally understand that. And I know that like as the parent, you're the one who has to spend a lot of time in there, so it should be something that you like. But to me, I like for kids' rooms to feel like kids' rooms. And part of that is because I want them to feel comfortable in there. I don't want to have to worry about them messing up like the expensive stuff that's in there or getting fingerprints on things or whatever. I mean, a kid is going to be in there, so to me it needs to feel comfortable to them and playful and colorful. And the other reason for that is point number 2, which is I want the nursery to age well, meaning I don't want it to be too mature or formal like I was talking about before, and I also don't want it to be too babyish, because in either case I think you would end up having to redecorate the room in just a few years. And then the third thing is I want the room to be cozy, meaning I want it to be kind of serene, not too like overstimulating. Because of that, one of the first decisions that I made was to paint the walls. It's pretty much just a white, it's like a warm white. I just started noticing that a lot of the nurseries that I liked, which I'll show you guys in a second, did have sort of that like blank white. A lot of the big stuff was just neutral or white, because you know, kids stuff is always very colorful. The books are colorful, the toys are colorful. Most stuff for kids is very colorful. So I think that if you do white walls or like a neutral wall, it kind of balances all of that out and keeps it from being too overstimulating and in your face. That's just my personal preference. Of course, all of this is just my personal preference. We all have our own style, but I thought I would go through kind of like what I like so that we're on the same page, you know? So as far as a theme, I'm not huge on like really specific themes, just because again, I think that once they get a little older and they start bringing their toys in there, I want it to be something that is a little more blank slate, but we wanted to have a little hint of a theme just so we knew what to look for in terms of like stuff that's easy to switch out, things like art or bed linens and stuff like that that's really easy to switch out. That was the kind of stuff that we decided we would do a little bit of a theme for. So the like loosely based theme that we came up with was, I guess, vintage, outdoorsy, travel type stuff. And the reason behind that theme is because Wes, is super into camping. I've gone camping with him sometimes, and I can hang, but like it's not like a passion of mine necessarily, but I do really love to travel. And I sort of think like, if we had had a girl, like I was a dancer growing up, so I probably would have incorporated some of that into her room. So I think it's kind of fun to like the same gender parent to kind of like pass down things that they are into for the nursery. I don't know. It's been really fun finding things for that theme. Okay, so now I'll talk about the inspiration for this room. I found that there were 5 specific images that I kept coming back to that really inspired me the most. So I thought I would just share those in this video. I'll put links to the sources of these 5 things below. I'll also mention it in the video. I'm not taking credit for any of these images. I just wanted to share with you what I found inspiring. This first image is by Joni Lay, who is a blogger at Lay Baby Lay, and actually 3 of the images that I'm gonna share are from her. Her rooms that she designs are always super like whimsical and fun and playful, but they don't feel like too overpowering or bright. They're calming, but they're also fun. So it's like striking that balance is kind of hard sometimes, but she does such a good job of it. So in this room, you can see there's like the white walls, which I love. And I love all of like the pops of color in this room. A big thing that she does, she'll do a mix of like a plain, either white wall or like a really light wall, and then she'll mix it with antiques and pops of color. So I love that look, and that's like a similar type of thing as what I've tried to do. I'll just go ahead and do the other 2 Joni Lay rooms while I'm at it so that they're all in a row. So this is the next one, and when I first saw this picture, I was just obsessed. I love the navy blue rug with the like Swiss crosses on it. I'm so glad that we decided on this rug, and Wes loved the rug too, because it just really like adds such a playful feel in there, and the darker color kind of just like grounds the whole room. I don't know, you guys will see what I mean, but I love that. I love all of the vintage like artwork and stuff that she has hanging back there. I also love how she did that 2-tone wall with like the light blue and the white on top. I thought about doing this in that room, but by that point I had painted this room so many times, and I was like, you know what, it's okay just to leave it white. And then the third little space of hers I wanted to share, this isn't really a room, it's kind of like just a play space beneath the stairs, it looks like, but I absolutely love this. I love the colors. I love, again, like the white walls. She uses a lot of, not a lot, but some of her rooms have like shiplap walls, which obviously we don't have in our house, but still, it's like the white walls with all of these pops of color, which are really fun. And I like the charcoal gray chair, which is something that we decided to go with too. So yeah, I love her blog. If you guys aren't familiar with Lay Baby Lay, definitely go check that out. I'll put a link below. And then there are 2 other images that I kept referring to as inspiration. So the first one is this styled shelf. It's like a really simple picture. It's just 3 shelves, but I just love this picture. I don't know what it is. I think it's all of the antique stuff, the old books, the old toys, the like old lunch pails kind of give that outdoorsy feel that we're into. Just a really nice look. Like I can picture that in a nursery, but I can also picture that in an older boy's room. So yeah, that was one that I really loved, and that's from a website for a woman named Amy Herring. I'll put a link below. And then the last one is, I've mentioned this blog before, but there's a blog called Love Taza, and Naomi Davis is the blogger, and I've been obsessed with her kids' nursery for years now. It's all white with lots and lots of color, lots of toys everywhere. You can tell a kid wouldn't be afraid to go in there and play. Like it's very welcoming for a kid, I would imagine. But all of the white as the backdrop just kind of keeps it from like being too much. So that's one that I've just been obsessed with for years. So I had to include that. So that was all of my inspiration. From there, I just started looking around at pieces that would kind of work. So I knew I wanted to do a lot of like white furniture. I knew that I really wanted that blue rug with the crosses on it. So I just kind of took all of that stuff, and I wanted to make sure that it would look right together without having to buy each thing and actually put it in the room and realize like, oh, I don't actually like that. So I made this little mood board in Canva just so that I could kind of visualize it. It wasn't like I had to get all of these things necessarily, but I just wanted to visualize how the big stuff was going to look together. Oh, I created this like color palette at the top too that I could refer to. I would say that now that we've like started decorating, the colors I've mostly used have been like the aqua blue, navy blue, and green. And then the other 3 colors have been more like secondary accent colors. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if any of you are like home decor nerds like me, maybe this was like fun. If you want to pin any of these images, like I said, I'll link to my blog post below. So I'm really excited to share the nursery with you once we're done, but like I said, we still have a little more to do in there. So yeah, be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe to my videos if you haven't yet, and you can also click the little bell if you want to get notifications every time I post a new one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!